What's going on, YouTube? Here's just a little update video of what I've been doing, which is, as you can see, not much on the truck at least. So as you can see in here, the weather's been pretty shitty, and I got a job, so I have little time to work on the truck, but now I have lots of money to put into the truck. So what's that old saying? Time, you might have time but not money. Now I have money but no time, something like that. I don't know. I would like to get back on it, hopefully soon. Finish, stripping all the paint off the cab. Clean all the rust up underneath. Get that primered. But I've been up to, with my money that I've been making, buying stupid stuff like engine blocks and 3-speed transmissions, a John Deere 316 tractor with a plow and mowing deck, 265 that I'm hoping it's not blowing up, but it has been sitting in the weather for a bit without an air breather or anything covering the carburetor, so she might be seized up with rust. But to me it looks like they pulled the motor out of whatever, the Bel Air that this was originally in, and put in a different power unit, probably like a 350 or something like that. The old gentleman that I did purchase this off of admitted that, it was sitting out in the weather for a bit. The intake manifold had just all kinds of like compost, pretty much, leaves and acorns and stuff. The carburetor is completely gummed up and seized. It won't move. So I'm going to go ahead and take, a couple minutes, hour or so, and see how bad she is. If this engine's worth rebuilding or the other one, so that I can put in the truck. Now I know that's not the original plan I had for the truck. I was going to keep this the 235 in it, but I don't know. I think this might be a little bit cooler. So my ultimate goal with the motor is to get in the basement so I can work on it, tear it apart, and see if I can just, what's wrong with it, if it requires to come apart, to rebuild, whatever, so that I can just have some sort of idea. But in order to do that, I'm going to have to move it across the yard, and it's not looking like it's going to happen anytime soon. It's just mud. And I don't feel like tearing up the yard or just getting the cherry picker stuck or anything like that with the motor to get in the basement. So I'm just going to work on it out here in my second garage carport thing, Harbor Freight Special. I did manage to go out and buy the Tractor Supply one. I don't like it. It's actually narrower than the Harbor Freight. The only advantage is you get an extra couple feet front to back of space, which is nice, I guess, but I'd rather have it wider so I can work on the cab and move around in there comfortably. So I don't recommend buying the dome top Tractor Supply portable garage. Me personally, all the Tractor Supplies around here don't have the pointed tops. I don't know if you have to order them online or whatever, but it is what it is. Enough of that. So I'm going to start by taking off the carburetor. I do have a rebuild kit for this on its way. I ordered it offline. It will be here, a couple days from now. Get that off. I'm going to look, and while it's off, I'm going to look in the manifold, see how bad, if there's any like more compost or leaves or just a lot of rust. So once the carburetor's off and I look inside the manifold and see if there's a lot of rust, and that will give me, you know, idea if it made it down to the valves, to the cylinders. I'm going to pull the spark plugs. As you can see, that might be a challenge. They're in there, you know. Boy, I don't know when this motor was pulled or much of the history. The guy I bought this motor off of was, you know, a collector of Chevrolet trucks and cars. He has nomads and, you know, convertibles. This was just extra that he was just trying to downsize his collection, so I snagged it from him. So I don't know the history. He didn't really tell me much of it, besides it's been sitting in the weather for a while. Years, probably. Well, there is no oil on the dipstick, but at least there's no water either, so I don't know if that's good or bad. Next, I'd probably like to pull the bell housing off so I can get to the flywheel and be able to turn the motor over. Maybe just leave it on, I don't know. I want to pull the plugs, all kinds of stuff. Okay, so I got the carburetor off. Pretty good bit of corrosion and dirt and junk. Like I said, she's just completely, the throttle valves do not want to open at all. And as I suspected, there's a little bit of rust in there, so water has gotten in to this point. Now, if it made it all the way down to the cylinder, to the valve, you know, I don't know. A good possibility for this side looks like there's a little bit of a rust trail leading down to this runner here. But in this one, I don't think the water actually got too far. So hopefully it's just, you know, one of those two cylinders over there. Alright, so I was able to get the intake off. And I went ahead and sprayed WD-40 down each of the intake ports. This cylinder here, it's all rusted out. And this one right here, same thing. There's a crap ton of sludge in here. Interesting fact, these 55 265s did not come with an oil filter cast into the block. There was an option for an auxiliary oil filter canister that mounted outside the engine, and here's one of the ports that you would tap it into. But looks like this motor never had oil filter on it, and the sludge is all kind of cream colored gray, so that might suggest condensation moisture. So I guess I'm going to have to put it on the cherry picker or the engine stand and pull the drain plug and see how much water I get out of the bottom end. If it's just chock full of water, I don't know, maybe this requires a rebuild too. But I would like to see if I can get it running without tearing the motor apart completely and rebuilding it. But if I'm going to run it in the truck, I think that's what I'm going to have to do. Alright, so I decided to put it on the cherry picker and pull the old drain plug and see what we get. We don't get nothing. A little bit of that milky oil. Interestingly concerned that there's no oil in it, but at least there's no water in it, so that's a plus. I'm almost ready to pull the plugs and hook a battery up to it, jump the starter somehow, and see if we can get it just to turn over, and see if she's freed up or not. I don't know. Alrighty, so I pulled the plugs out on both sides. I did decide that I was going to pull the starter and take a pry bar, screwdriver, and stick it on the flywheel between the teeth and the bell housing cover, and see if I can just turn the motor over that way. And guess what, folks? No go. She locked up tight. So yeah, I sprayed some WD-40 and all on the spark plug holes. I'm going to pick up some Marvel's Mystery Oil and give her some oil. Let her sit for a couple days, maybe a week. So yeah, I'm going to, let the motor sit for a little bit, a week or so, get some oil in there, and hopefully get this bad girl to turn over. If not, well, looks like I'm going to be rebuilding one of the motors. I don't know if it's going to be this one or the one in the basement already, but oh well. Either way, if I was going to put it in the truck, I would have to rebuild it. 235, she ran like a top, so I might just go ahead and clean her up, maybe give her a paint job. It's killing me that it's out in the rain, but maybe I'll just run that for a while. Now I got the money to rebuild one of these motors, but I prefer if I didn't have to do that right away. So I just want to go ahead and end the video. This is what I'm up to. Working, waiting for the weather to clear. I got house projects that I'm working on here. Keep the old lady happy, because, making a junkyard out of her backyard. Oh well. So, yeah. Just want to thank all the new subscribers and bearing with me until I get new videos out. Thank you.